Hello everyone, I am Anvia Huja
And I'm Shaka Saragi.
and we are thrilled to be hosting this special podcast for our management conclave at NMIMS Indore. We have an exciting episode ahead with a very special guest, Ms. Aradhika Mehta, a marketing leader with extensive experience at esteemed companies such as The Body Shop, The Lens Cut and Aditya Birla Group. She is an influential speaker who has delivered guest lectures at numerous prominent institutions across the country. With a vast knowledge in fashion and diverse forms of marketing, we look forward to gaining valuable insights from her expertise. Thank you, ma'am, for joining with us today. We are truly honored to have you here with us.
It's an absolute pleasure for me.
So, ma'am, how is your day? How are you feeling? With the weather change, with the climate change?
I think I'm feeling, as always, fabulous.
That's amazing, ma'am. So let us now move forward in our discussion and ask Ms. Mehta some questions. In an industry as dynamic, influential and competitive as fashion, what strategies can brands employ to distinguish themselves from their competitors and achieve greater visibility?
So, I think besides the fact that yes, the fashion industry is also a part of and a large amount is D2C, direct to consumer. The most important thing that can clearly put you ahead, through which you can outshine or outsmart your competition, is how closely are you connected to your consumers, how well you understood your consumer and how well you're targeting them with every part of the product, emotions, communication and all of that. The fundamental aspect being if you understand your customer very well, you have clear consumer insights, you know the gaps that exist, the problems that the consumer faces, and you solve those problems, irreversibly or convincingly for them. I think you are a winner, whether category agnostic, whether you're in fashion or in any other category. The essential or the key operating word is: are you solving problems holistically for your consumer?
Right, right. We also agree, ma'am, because as a consumer, we do not have, or we are always not able to showcase or portray our problems. We, as a consumer, are not able to put our problems to word for the
Right.
industry to give us a solution. So, as a marketer, I think finding and observing that between the lines, the finding the element.
I think that's a key part of it, to really perceive the explicitly stated problems and the implied ones, or to really gather information and insight, and then to be able to draw out what are the situations or what are the problems which, while the consumer does not really know how to articulate, maybe facing them, does not able to articulate. And if you are able to clearly understand the problem and address it with solutions that solve for it, you are rewarded by the consumers. You're rewarded in the short term with sales, etc., and in the long term with the loyalty. Like, I'll give you an example at Lenskart. Now, while there is no such norm as, nobody expects their glasses to come to them like in a day or 2 days or something like that. And neither was any competition doing that. And Lenskart is a fashion brand, if I may say so. If I may, it is definitely, because the entire communication is about what it makes you look like, rather than vision correction. The communication, active communication, messaging is that it makes you look good. It occupies prime state on your face, and therefore changing glasses changes the entire look and persona of yours. So there was never really such a problem stated by the consumer or by being addressed by the competition. Yet Lenskart started one-day deliveries. You would get your, and it was a move that was entirely proactive, understanding that there would be some people who might be having this issue of they may be traveling, or they may have lost the glasses or broken them or something, and they would want these really quickly. Since the entire category had never really operated like that, the expectations were not even expressed by the customer. But here Lenskart started the one-day delivery, and what it has resulted in that consumers love that fact, that and it also gives them that feeling that here's a brand which actually cares for me. Even if I didn't ask for it, they themselves have done something like this and they love it. And that's what a brand, a powerful brand is. With every little thing, the customer or the consumer will fall more and more in love with it, because they say, even when I am not really thinking or stating something, they are thinking of me.
Right. Same ideology is now being followed by Swiggy, Zomato, and this is where they started. If we had ordered from restaurant, a restaurant delivery boy would have delivered the food, but then Zomato and Swiggy came into the market saying, you place your order, we will deliver it to you. And whereas Zomato started itself as a restaurant rating app, but converted and mostly used for deliveries.
Right.
So that's the
Yeah,
understanding.
so obviously it's that same trend, and inside being there's a huge need for instant gratification, or there's this big shift. Why wait for something when I can get it now? That sort of a thing. And same thing applies to glasses as well, or anything else. I think now fashion is going to be on quick commerce. A lot of it, you can buy a t-shirt, you can buy shirts, etc. And I think I was predicting this at least 2 years back, that this is a real and important trend that should be considered by all fashion companies, because demand can come in from anywhere, and once that desire to wear something new, it could even be for an evening party or just right now. You can see a whole lot of festive kurtas, etc. There will be a whole lot of shopping that will happen last minute. You're going for a Diwali party, you don't seem to be having an outfit, or you don't seem to be liking the outfit you have, and you'd say, yeah, why not, Zepto it, why not Blinkit it? So it's all becoming, and what the remarkable thing is, it is happening in India. It is not happening anywhere in the world. This kind of quick delivery and this short timeline. Of course, there are other reasons also which may not be the best to discuss here, because of I think we need to really look at the wages,
the other side
wages, the other side. But having said that, if you have some people from the West or any foreign land coming in, they are shocked. Like my sister visiting from London, and I started to cook something, and I said, yeah, I'll get the paneer, and she's like, and I said, yeah, in 6 minutes we put it on. She's like, you guys are really living the big life, lucky you people. So
ma'am, speaking about all of these initiatives, what are the key factors in your opinion which contributes in effective brand image or branding?
I think I'm going to say the same thing, or rather I'm going to build on it a bit more. Brand image is a carefully constructed image in the consumer's mind. While it's a bit like, the elephant and the four blind men story.
No, ma'am.
So there was an elephant and there were four blind men. And blind men, or they were blindfolded, and they were left near the elephant. Now each one was at a different part of the elephant's body. Somebody who was at the leg part, pointed the leg and said that the elephant is like a tree trunk. A person who was at the tail, it's like a brush. So long story short, the perception of a brand is very much constructed by the consumer. You may be saying a lot. So my communication messages together may be trying to flash an image of an elephant. Now I don't know what the consumer is finally gathering and therefore building that perception. So it's very important that you are honest, and it is consistent 360 degrees. What I'm saying on my product, what I'm saying through my store, what is the experience on my website, it has to be absolutely consistent. The same image, the same brand values, core values need to be reflected, reverberated across. And which means that only then Have you seen this? There's a very interesting object called a kaleidoscope.
Yes.
You shake it a bit, and the entire imagery changes. It is what it is. If you change the communication a little bit, perception could be something else. If you change the service at your store a little bit, the perception could mean something else. It's extremely so. One is consistency, and the other is to build a good brand. What is really required is having the essential idea is what is the problem I'm solving it and communicating it, and in every possible way addressing that problem and that consumer, which you have to know your consumer. Like I say in jest that you should be as obsessed about your consumer, you should know what they eat, drink, sleep, dream, where they go, where they don't go, what are they thinking. You should know your customers so well, so very well, that you should be as obsessed about your customer like say Shah Rukh Khan was obsessed with Chewy Chawla in a pot boiler called Dar. He would keep saying Kiran, and I usually tell everybody that marketers should be saying consumer. so that's the level of obsession you have when you know your customers so well. There's no chance that you're not going to be able to perceive what problems exist. The central problem, the core, the fringe problems, everything that goes with it. And you're going to address them, solve them, and then, you are their own. Then the customer thinks of you as well. I'll narrate a very interesting incident. Just day before yesterday, I was on my flight. I was going to board my flight to Indore from Delhi, and flights were getting delayed. I was in an Air India flight, and the boarding gate was not getting announced, and we were being changed. The gates were being changed one after the other, and so obviously there was a lot of chaos, and a lot of people were disgruntled. And there were other airlines which were constantly announcing their boarding dates and people leaving, etc. So I heard these two women talking to themselves, between themselves. And one woman says कि ये सब पता है ना, ये सब इन लोगों की कॉन्स्पिरेसी है, ये बाहर के एयरलाइंस की, क्योंकि एयर इंडिया तो हमारी एयरलाइन है ना. I was like, I found it so interesting. I just overheard them. And she's like, हाँ वो, they don't want Air India to. So, and then they started laughing, and they themselves said, we have this interesting conspiracy theory. And I was just thinking that when a customer starts to believe that this is my brand, then you don't need to do any work, because the customer will fight for you. If you see the fans of say Apple, you can give them 2,000 logical, functional problems or whatever gaps in it. They will fight tooth and nail. They will not accept any of it, because now they are the brand ambassadors. Each one becomes a powerful brand, has numerous brand ambassadors, because they are now part of the brand's family.
Well, I myself is a loyal consumer of Body Shop, and I do not like anybody saying कि अच्छा नहीं, or they're not true about their products or ingredients. I like, no, I've been using this product since I was like 12, and I love each and every flavor product, and I wait for the newest flavor to come in so that I'll be the first customer to try. Like the cherry blossom was famous, and my new favorite. So,
I have to tell you a very interesting anecdote on that one. I used to have the customer experience, customer care, and I was head of training and customer experience, national head for customer experience and training at the Body Shop, and I joined the Body Shop. And during the course, and I used to, in the course of it, customer complaints or customer issues or queries would definitely pass through me, because there were 103 stores at that point of time when I joined the Body Shop. Of course, later it grew more. And I would come to know of the most complicated cases, the ones which would be escalated and the customers weren't really happy about something and they weren't really getting satisfied with the responses of the staff and the call center, etc. And once there was this case that we got on email where we had discontinued a particular fragrance and whatever was there in stock in the stores, that much was being sold. I think the fragrance was, if I remember correctly, it was called Love etc. Love etc. And this woman used to really like that fragrance. We got a long email from her, and all emails used to come to me, which used to come to the customer care ID, that why, I cannot get this and, I really need it. I mean, such desperate tone that at the end it was, if I don't get this fragrance, I will not be able to live, sort of not as many words, but it really was that. And we called her and, we tried to say, yeah, we'll give you some fragrances and, whatever we have in stock. But we are discontinuing it. And she's, why are you discontinuing it? And it's such a lovely fragrance and something. At the end, we gave her an offer that, okay, whatever fragrances we have in stock in any store, we will give it to you. You can buy it. She bought 17 bottles of Love etc. on full price. Can you imagine?
That's the love for the one product.
That's not love, that's obsession. We were almost like, what is she going to do? Even I don't know how many years is this going to last.
Oh, true.
But there are people like that. I think the whole fact that she loved that product, she had that inherent belief and trust in Body Shop and what it did to her.
True.
Brands are, they remain brands till a point, then they become a relationship. This is what it does for me. So it's my, this, it's my body like that. It's my, during makeup or during this thing. It helps me in a certain way. So it becomes a friend.
True.
And that's what was happening with this woman. And we actually sent her 17 bottles. I still, when I think about it, I get a huge sense of euphoria that you've spoken to some people, some customers like that. So they exist. You might feel that they do not, but there are people who exist.
And I'm speaking more for Body Shop. I think the employees, the treatment when we give, what the customer we get. I think of Body Shop, I remember the boho feel, the interior, the brown, the earthy feel when we enter, the polite salesperson over there treating us, testing the product on us and helping us try the product. And it is just the best, and even if I don't want to buy, I just want to have the experience and I would enter Body Shop just for the experience, just for that earthy,
So there's an interesting story there too, and I think if I were to take you back, I had just joined, like I said, I was in customer experience and retail training. So the staff training came under me, and the entire customer satisfaction index, which is actually through a mystery shopping that is done every quarter, wasn't in the best shape. I'm not going to reveal the numbers, but it wasn't really in the best shape. And I was given the task specifically to address it, to improve it. And I took on a pretty lofty, goal. I myself offered, and I said, yeah. And I was asked how much time I needed, and I think I was a bit too bold, or I think I was a little stupid. I said, okay, 1 month is all I will, and I said, no, you can't do it in 1 month, 103 stores, training, etc. I said, no. So I still took on 1 month. I did this training. I called it 21 Steps to Wow Your Customer. I had not come from a customer service background. I had zero understanding of it. And for some time I kept thinking, how will I do this? I've taken this goal, but how? And then I took a very, logical, very simple approach to it. And I will also say that my approach to solving a problem is always the simplest one. Because I feel the more complicated a solution, the less likely that you will have a solution happening. B, all the people involved. It's a bit like Chinese whispers, lost in translation. By the time everyone understands what the solution is, you'll have something. So आप बंदर बनाने चलोगे, आप कुत्ता बना के निकलोगे. तो इसलिए वो and 21 steps to creative. And first time, in fact, my CEO saw it and like just one sheet of paper, and she was, I think, good start, and I was a little surprised. But we did that. So what you're saying, each step is documented. First step is greeting. Second step is smile. So smile is a step. We might think that everything happens organically, but for a process and for it to be to happen consistently, every single staff to smile, you have to document it. You have to smile, and you have to smile like this. What words will you use? Can I help you? Is no longer a great line, because a lot of customers get offended. Help is sort of a negative word for some. So may I assist you? Or is it something you're looking for? Can I be of any? So there were 2 or 3 only which were given. One could choose. So I'm saying the entire process is documented, and then it is very diligently drilled down. That's how you are able to get the same experience, great experience first in one store and the same experience in every store. If you go to an India store and if you go to a store in Singapore, you will pretty much have the same experience. It looks the same and it feels the same. And nobody in fact actually knows that the Body Shop in India is actually a franchise. It's not the Body Shop itself, but that's the way Body Shop operates. In 90% of the countries it is a franchise. But you're not able to make out. And many times, like we go to a hotel and say, this is a franchise chain. When you don't find the service standards up to what you expected, you say, must be a franchise. So it's how you actually run it consistently.
I think you had the turning point for the Body Shop, because this is a memory that I as a customer, and I know many, around me who are a Body Shop loyal, have the same experience, because that is the point where I connected with those friends, and now I'm able to call them friends because of this product. So it feels like you were the changing.
I don't know, but this I can share. I did not share the initial numbers, but after the training and after the next mystery shopping audit, our customer satisfaction index was at 82%, and we won the first prize for Asia Pacific. India was the country which had the highest uplift in customer satisfaction index. And I had just joined, and in fact I went to Singapore, and that was the first award I received.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Well, that was a great achievement. And coming to the topic that you work at the Lenskart and the Body Shop, you would have faced many challenging aspects that you indulged yourself in. So, could you like to share something?
I think the challenges are all there are everyday challenges, and then there are those larger than life challenges that happen once in a while. But I think COVID phase was a big challenge, and I was at Lenskart at that point of time, and the fact that we couldn't shoot, we could not use any external agencies, etc. And we wanted to create an ad, and we obviously on the behest of the founder, my boss, Piyush Bansal, that we should shoot the testimonials, and he was very categorical about it. In fact, I was not very sure if we'll be able to do that, and the customers to shoot the testimonials themselves. And we went ahead and we tried our best. So while we were not there, the customers shot their videos themselves, and out of their clips, we put together an ad for Lenskart. And the first ad during COVID happened with that, and hours of shoots with so many customers, and we are actually perfected. So what we used to do is to tell them 2 phones. One of the phones would be used for shooting, maybe a family member or somebody. So we would give them directions about where you have to sit, what lighting, what should be the background, etc. There would be obviously a document. And the other phone, we would be online, looking at it and telling them that, okay, you come a little ahead, light achhi shadow wala hai, ya aap phir se bolo, and something. Yeah. The customers were amazing. I think a lot of them really enjoyed that process, and we got so many clips, and from that we picked out some, and we strung them together and created a couple of ads, from the testimonials. We took those ads to the television channel, and I think it was on Doordarshan, it was on Uttar Ramayana and Mahabharat, and it started to do so well, and the business in fact came back. The first 50 crores from a zero in COVID because all the stores had shut. The first 50 crores came right after we did these ads, and it was amazing. I think there was a huge sense of accomplishment, not just because you were getting back business. There was a huge responsibility we owed. We were 500 stores plus. There were so many store staff. There were so many people, who depended on me. Obviously, the organization had to be making money for everyone to keep their jobs, to get their salaries, and I personally felt very in a place of responsibility that I should do everything that is possible. And the other, like they say, what do you say? Imitation is the best form of flattery. I think after about 2 months, all brands started doing testimonials, and then we knew that we obviously had got it really right, because everybody started doing testimonials, with customer shots and all of that. But we were the ones who started and put it, and of course, it was that challenge was something else altogether, because COVID was a different time.
These are the examples of your significant leadership skills, ma'am.
These are more like, life's memories. You look back at them because they're not just a campaign, they're a part of your life.
Yeah. I mean, these are your stories as a brand that you have built. So, ma'am, on the same line of leadership, what significant leadership lessons you would like to put forward for the youth generation or the upcoming marketeers to possess or to showcase as a team leader, as a team builder, team player?
I think specifically for marketing, if there is a marketing leader, should be an absolute storehouse or an absolute resource for the consumer. I should be like a walking, talking dictionary, encyclopedia of my consumer. I should know everything about my consumer. And that's, like I said, because that's the marketing leader. Or say as a leadership trait, I think the biggest trait is to be authentic, to be honest, to be conscious. Conscious here meaning every decision you make, you take, is with a certain consciousness of the outcomes, the results of your action, because every action has certain positive outcomes, certain negative outcomes, certain trade-offs involved. You have to be conscious, you have to choose. The last I say, as a marketer, and a leader, this is a cusp of marketing and leadership both, you have to be bold. You have to take risks. A marketer who continues to do the same thing, this is a trend, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, this is something that's, let's take a safe option. Beyond a point of time, safe does not work sometimes. I'm not saying that every single time you take risk and do that, but you need to be bold, you need to be smart bold. Obviously, don't go and jump into, from a cliff saying that, okay, I'm going to be. But so that, like I said, really know your customer. If you want marketing success, if you want to lead marketing, you have to know your customer like the back of your hand, probably better than you know yourself. To be very conscious of the choices you make.
So this was a very insightful discussion for our viewers and for us as well. And by this, we'd like to conclude this. We greatly appreciate you sharing your knowledge, experience, and helpful guidance with us. Aradhika ma'am, having you on the show was an amazing delight. We hope that today's conversation was an insightful and motivating factor for our listeners as it was for us. Recall this dedication, creativity, and curiosity in all endeavors are just as important as success, as tactics and diligence. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.